Nonsense. The sign of the times.
What is, dear?
The thin end of the wedge.
Yes, but what?
These newfangled ideas of yours. Huh.
You can't stand against something just because it's progressive.
Oh, yes, I can. Progress isn't necessarily good.
In the end, it is.
Ladies first, John, please.
Yes, John. Ladies first.
Sorry. Tell me a story, Daddy.
Did you like the one I told you yesterday?
Yes.
What? Oh.
That one about Aladdin wasn't true, was it?
Well, this one is. It's one I was going to tell your granny.
Is it a fairy story?
You wait and see.
Go on.
Well. Over 2,000 years ago, there lived in Greece a very learned man called Thales. And like Aladdin, he rubbed a lamp. But the lamp was made of amber. And with it, he raised a genie that was going to change the face of the world. The genie's name was Electricity. But they laughed. They didn't understand. Until centuries later, in the reign of Queen Anne, when a man called Watson gave himself a little shock and a big idea.
What happened? I don't know. But I have an idea.
The spark was tiny, but Franklin flew a kite. And showed that nature's electricity was the same as that made by man.
Look! I've got it! It's against the will of God, Benjamin. You must go no further. You are wrong, brother. This is but the beginning. You mark my words. This will bring nothing but trouble. You are wrong, my friend. You cannot stop progress.
And was his friend wrong?
Progress is never wrong. Well, by now they had discovered there was such a thing as electricity. They could make sparks, but it wasn't doing them much good. Until a man called Galvani accidentally twitched a frog's leg. He saw that he had made an electric current, something more than the useless sparks men had been playing with before. And from this discovery, a man named Volta invented a battery, rather like the one you've got in your flash lamp, John. Then he didn't have to wait for a thunderstorm to get electricity. Now people could make electricity. They began to wonder what they could use it for. And a Mr. Humphrey Davy, who used to give lectures.
And in this experiment, gentlemen, I will demonstrate my latest discovery. By the use of Volta's pile or battery and 2 carbon poles, a flame is produced which gives light.
Folly, sir. Sheer folly. If that is folly, would I were a fool.
And that, gentlemen, is one of the first tangible effects of electricity. I thank you.
Get all this nonsense out of your head, young man. It will do you no good. I must find that out, sir.
Yes?
I think your lectures are wonderful, sir.
Thank you. What's your name, young man?
Michael Faraday, sir. I'm a bookbinder's assistant, and I've attended every one of your lectures.
Indeed? Then what is your ambition?
To work in a laboratory, like you.
Would you like to? Well, perhaps you shall.
I can never thank you enough, sir.
But Daddy, how do you know that?
Well, your great-great-grandfather used to work with Davy.
What did he look like?
Well, rather like me, only with long side whiskers and funny clothes. And it was he who welcomed Faraday to the lab. Michael Faraday?
Yes, sir.
I'll show you where you work. This will be your bench.
Come over here, quickly. What is it, Michael? I've made an electric current without a battery. What? Look. And before long, I'll have a machine to make it.
You see, it works. When I turn this copper disc between the poles of my great magnet, I get a movement. My machine has made an electric current.
The whole world is in your debt, Michael.
John, you flatter me.
Mr. Faraday, allow me to present my son, Edward.
How do you do?
You're lucky, my boy. You'll live to see the effects of what Mr. Faraday has done.
I know.
And did he, Daddy?
Yes, that was my grandfather. And he went through all the fights, battled against all the people who thought that progress and science were no good, and all their silly superstitions. But we won.
How, Daddy?
Because all the things grew, and nothing could stop them. First, Faraday's generator. Faster and bigger than they could have dreamt of. And then, with them came the motor, which was going to do the work for half the world. And other things happened too, John. Humphrey Davy thought of the idea of arc light. And today, we have the mammoth searchlight. It's difficult to remember what it has sprung from, but it did. Then in many countries started a search for another type of light to use in the home. In England, Swan. In America, Edison. And from their efforts was born the modern electric light.
But Daddy, you said the genie was going to change the world.
And it has, son. If my great-grandfather wanted to call a doctor, he had to ride and tell him. Today, if you get into trouble, I just say to the doctor, "Doctor, John's fallen downstairs. Can you come at once?"
Coming right away.
And that's only a small thing. Do you realize that but for the electric spark, there'd be no motor cars? And it's doubtful if there'd be any aeroplanes. Wireless has covered the world. And the grid spans rivers, climbs mountains, burrows into the ground to bring electricity to your own door. It even brings me home to you every evening. You get more and more like your granny every day.
Why, Daddy?
Because you take so much convincing.
Oh, that's a bit hard on Mother. Just because she doesn't happen to want an electric cooker.
And electricity all over the house.
Cold, darling.
Yes.
Oh, the poor little darling.
You don't like it in the house, do you?
Well, maybe you're right.
And so our genie turns out to be not only a powerful little wizard, but a good little wizard who gives us comfort and serves us in our own homes. A real wizard in the wall.